What if the truth could be edited, one memory at a time? They don't change what happened. They change what you believe happened. It starts small. A forgotten word? A missing detail. You correct them. They smile and say, "You're remembering wrong." Soon, you stop arguing. Then you stop trusting yourself. That's when the real edit begins. You forget the exact truth and replace it with what they want remembered. Piece by piece, they're rewriting your memory until their version feels safer than reality. Your mind becomes a battlefield where evidence means nothing and emotion wins every time. They don't need proof. They just need repetition. Say it often enough, and the lie becomes muscle memory. They're not after belief. They're after confusion. Because an uncertain mind is easy to steer. By the end of this, you'll see how manipulators rewrite reality in real time, and how to lock yours so tight that no one can edit it again. The first rewrite always sounds gentle. You don't hear the first edit. You feel it, a heartbeat off. Once you start doubting yourself, they bring out tools. Not objects, emotions. Anger, a sudden tone change, the flash of disappointment, the sigh that says, "You're impossible." You rush to fix the mood, not the fact. They've trained you to fear their reaction more than you trust your memory. Pity, they look wounded, say they never meant to hurt you, that you're oversensitive. You rebound, defending them, apologizing for seeing too much. The truth bends again, just to keep the peace. Confusion. They change their story mid-sentence, shift blame, twist words you just heard. You chase logic, they chase control. Did it even happen that way? Every time you try to clarify, the ground moves. Shame. They say your doubt proves your instability. You start policing your own reactions, diagnosing yourself instead of the situation. By then, you're arguing for their version of you. That's the core of gaslighting, not the lie itself, but the emotional feedback loop. They don't rewrite facts. They rewrite feelings. If they can control how you feel about truth, they no longer need to change the truth at all. Every outburst, every apology, every quiet stare is a keystroke on your internal edit. Until one day, the story in your head reads exactly as they wrote it. The next step isn't louder, it's quieter. That's when isolation begins. That's when the distance begins to grow. When you start to question them, they turn your doubt into isolation. They tell you your friends misunderstand, that outsiders don't see the real you. They suggest distance and reward it. One by one, your voices of reason fall silent. Soon, you stop seeking second opinions. You begin defending them to the people who used to defend you. That's how the cage closes, not with locks, but loyalty. They don't need to cut you off completely. They just need to make you feel safer in their version of reality. Safety becomes a trap disguised as understanding. Then they plant the seed, a quiet thought that says, "Maybe I'm the problem." It hides beneath every decision, whispering before you speak, steering you before you think. That seed grows roots. It rewrites instinct. Something inside you still knows the timeline doesn't add up. The order of moments feels wrong. Conversations shorter, events blurred. They use that fog, shifting when things happened until even your own clock turns against you. Then, collapse. You replay events before you speak, editing yourself to avoid friction. You second-guess tone, memory, even motive. They no longer need to contradict you. You do it for them. Gaslighting isn't about shouting you down. It's about teaching you to whisper against yourself. When that happens, Truth dies quietly. Your world shrinks to their approval. Every hesitation feels like disloyalty. Every silence feels like peace. But exhaustion is part of the design. Each day, a little less of you remains. You're not trapped in their control anymore. You're trapped in your corrections. To break a story this deep, you can't argue it. You have to remember what came before the edits. Control never ends in silence. It mutates. When the edits stop working, they switch tactics. Now they rewrite roles instead of memories. They become the wounded one, and you become the problem. They highlight every moment you reacted, but hide the reasons that pushed you there. They quote your tone, never their trigger. They tell others they tried everything while you overreacted again. That's image control, selective truth dressed as innocence. You start defending yourself instead of the truth. You bring evidence, they bring emotion. And emotion always wins the crowd. That's how the lie becomes public record. But the illusion only survives while you argue inside it. The counter is silence, not retreat, containment. You stop correcting their story and start protecting your own. Keep your record private, your mind precise. They can rewrite the narrative, but they can't rewrite consistency. The hidden flaw they exploit, memory fades by design. We forget tone, phrasing, timing, the tiny details that make truth solid. They build their strategy on that erosion, rewriting each blank before you notice it's gone. The half-truth weapon, they don't invent everything. They twist what's real. A fragment of truth becomes their proof, repeated until it erases context. That's how they make the lie believable, by wrapping it in something you once saw yourself. Your mind trusts the familiar, and that's how it gets tricked. The method, reality anchor, plus turn the table. Each time confusion hits, write 3 short lines. 1. What I saw. 2. What I felt. 3. What they said it was. Compare them later, when calm. Patterns expose themselves. They always do. That record is your lock. Then flip the power. Use their half-truths as proof of your consistency. When they say, "You said this," answer with calm evidence, timestamps, notes, tone logs. Never to convince them, to remind yourself who edits whom. That's the turn the table. Remember it. Record before you reconsider. Respond without correction. That's how you seal your reality and make theirs collapse. Next time, we'll uncover a different mask, the one that copies you so perfectly you think you're looking in a mirror. If you want me to explain even more, leave a comment below, and then you know what come up next.